Hello everyone, my name is Tish and this is Daily Elevation. So those of you that know me as being an author of From Abuse to Struggling to Who Am I? And those of you that don't know me, download Daily Elevation's app right now and get the book From Abuse to Struggling to Who Am I? Because of the topic that I'm speaking of today is the topic that's in the book. So you guys want to get the book. Okay, so moving forward. The topic that I want to speak of today is a minor setback for a major comeback. And I know you guys are wondering, like, where's she going with this? Think of it. Think about it. A minor setback for a major comeback. So let me ask you guys a question. How many of you ever put X amount of time and work and effort into this position that you want so bad? You done work so hard, you prep for it, you study for it, and you pray for it. You pray that God give you this position. And how many of you ever been in a relationship? How many of you ever been in a relationship and you put X amount of years and you put X amount of time and hard work into this relationship, and just to see it all fail before your eyes? So I'm here to tell you and to give you my example, of me putting in all my hard work into something that I wanted so bad. So moving forward, those of you that knows me knows how much I love California. And you know that I've been wanting to move to California for years. So let me tell you the story. I applied for a job in California. Years ago. And I actually got through the first interview over the phone. The second interview, they flew me out there. And I remember it like it was yesterday. I was like, I got there. I was like, oh my God, I love it out here. The palm trees. This is home. This is me. And a job, the position I was applying for, it was teaching. But it was teaching software. So I was just applying for this position, and I get out there and I'm like, God, I remember grandma telling me as a kid, Tish, if you ever want something, you claim it in Jesus' name and it's yours. So that's what I did. I prayed and I asked God to give me this position, and I claimed it. I'm like, this is my job. I'm like, God, this is for me. And I was like, okay. And I get home. And I get the email. And I'm excited. I'm just telling everybody, I know I got the job. I get the email, and the email tells me you didn't get the job. So I'm like, what? So I was a bit discouraged. I kind of almost felt like, you know what, maybe it ain't for me. And then something in me was like, keep applying for the job. Don't give up. So I applied for the job more. I kept on applying for the job, with years went by, maybe 3 to 4 years went by. So I started getting a bit discouraged. And I started thinking, like, as the four and a half year, I started thinking to myself, well, maybe this ain't for me. I've been applying for this job all these years. Maybe this not for me. Maybe the timing is not right. Maybe God got something better for me. And when I say God used people, when God used people, and he speak through people. I remember meeting a good friend of mine. I remember telling him about my life story. And I remember telling him, the things that I went through. And he said, Tish, you need to write a book. And I was like, really? He was like, yeah. So I said, well, I already got everything written down. It was my diary. So he was like, Tish, you know how many women that been in an abusive relationship? You know how many women that you can lift up? How many women you can save? So I started considering it, and he started, talking to me and speaking to me, and I was like, man, if he telling the truth, I don't know. So I was kind of confused of what to do, because my mind was set on doing something else. So I prayed about it, and I asked God, what is it that you want me to do? Do you want me to teach software? Or do you want me to, I don't know what it is that you want me to do, because I really wanted to move to California. I wanted to move to California and teach software. I wanted to stay out there. So, and you guys probably might think I'm crazy, but God, he spoke to me and he told me, he said, Tish, that's not what I wanted you to do. That's what you wanted to do. You wanted to move to California. You wanted to teach software. He said, I didn't take you through all those beatings and bring you out for nothing. I didn't take you through that rape. I didn't take you through that, bring you out of that. That domestic violence for 7 years. I didn't take you through that and bring you out of it for nothing. And I think it'd be selfish of you to even go through everything that you went through and not want to tell your story and uplift people. He said, because I took you through it and brought you out of it because I felt like you was strong. I felt like you was strong enough to be one of my soldiers to go out there and tell everybody that you went through it and that I brought you out of it. 1, 2, to lift everybody up, to use your story as a testimony. So I start thinking, wow. I start thinking to myself, wow. So God, you really want me to use my story as a testimony? And I start thinking about what my friend told me. He said, so many women out there that need to hear your story. And I start thinking like, well, wow, that is selfish of me to try to do something other than what God brought me here to do. God, I just feel like this. Only God knows why you didn't get that position. Only God knows why your relationship failed. You know, maybe the relationship wasn't for you, or maybe he had something better for you, or maybe that position that you wanted so bad, it was something that you wanted, it wasn't something that he wanted for you. A lot of times we move faster than we don't let God guide our footsteps. A lot of times we move before he tell us to move, and a lot of times we want things that he don't want for us. It ain't for us. And you can knock at that door all you want to. But if it ain't for you, it ain't for you. So the message that I'm getting to you today is, my minor setback was my major comeback. Because when I go around the world and I speak to these women and these youth, I knew that I was destined to do this. So I thank God for sending that young man to me and speaking to me and let me know that what I went through, everything that I went through in my life, I should have used it to help other people, because God brought me out of it for a reason. And I'm not saying this is your situation. I don't know what your situation may be. Only thing I can tell you is to pray about it and ask God to help you with it, like what I did. But everything that you want is not for you, might not be for you. That's all I'm telling you. You might want that position. That position might not be for you. God might have something better for you. So the next time you go knocking at a door for so long and spending so much time into it, pray about it. Ask God to show you, God, is this for me? And he will. My minor setback was a major comeback because of the facial expressions, the uplifting that I get when I uplift someone is way bigger than me going teaching a software. When I move other people, that moves me. To know that I gave someone hope, that moves me, that lifts me up. So that's priceless. I was going to go out to California and teach a software that wouldn't have had no type of meaning behind it as far as me. Didn't have no connection to me. So I'm grateful that God sent that young man. I'm grateful God redirected me. My minor setback was my major comeback. And now I get to go all over the world. And I get to teach women. And I get to teach and talk to men, young men. And uplift them. And give them hope. And share my testimony. And share what God brought me through. And he ain't even finished yet. We just beginning. I love you all. I'm grateful for God. I'm just thank God for using me. You guys wouldn't even understand. Like, I'm so grateful because he chose me. He chose me. You know how many people out there he could have chose? He chose me. So I just want to say thanks, and I love you all. I love God. Y'all be safe, and I see you all soon. And don't give up. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged when you get a minor setback, because God got a major comeback for you. Just pray and ask him. He'll show you.